Hi friends! Oh my god, it's been so long since I've started and or filmed a vlog. It feels so nice to talk to you. Amazing what remembering to take your antidepressants can do. I just changed into my PJs. It's a Saturday afternoon. I did just get back from a first date. I kind of told myself it might just be a date that I'm going on for exposure, but it went super well. I wanted to start a new vlog because I am starting a new book. If you saw my last video, I read through a bunch of Emily Henry's. I actually went to Barnes & Noble and picked up a hardcover because I had a gift card. Hey, why was this $30? I'm not like in love with Emily Henry where I need to own all of her books. I really honestly
jump scare.
I could have read these from the library, but I do mark up her books with a lot of quotes that I like. Hi Rosie, how's it going? Anywho, that's a long-winded way of me saying not sure if this is gonna be worth $30. Primarily because from what I can tell, having read page 1, this is another book that really reminds me of Evelyn Hugo, where the main character is a writer and she is doing a biography over this legendary woman who I think was an actress. Hi Gordo. He's here. Isn't he so handsome? I've kind of been putting off starting this one a little bit slumpishly, but also because I just feel like I've read stuff like this before and I'm not confident I'm gonna love it, especially because Happy Place and Book Lovers was so good, but maybe a little bit of that is also purchase regret because it's so $30 for a hardback. It is a rainy ass day. I don't know if you can hear the ASMR of the wind and the rain hitting the window behind you, but I have a Dr. Pooper Zero ready to read, ready to rumble. I'd cheers you, but Rosie's ass is in the way. Anyway, just come along with me for a week of reading or a week of doing nothing, or maybe even not that. Cheers.
A few moments later.
Well, after several hours, I only got 4 chapters in or something stupid. It's taken me so long to get into this. Do you mind if I lay like this? I don't know why I couldn't focus on this, but I got to chapter 5 and I need to correct myself because I said this was about like a pop star, superstar. It's not. It's about a woman whose family was like a media mogul, like newspaper and print media, but she married a rock star. So she and this other guy are competing to write her biography, and her competitor is this like super sexy Pulitzer Prize writer. So she's feeling very insecure and he's very grumpy and she's very social. It's really reminiscent of her other main characters. Sometimes I have issues with like workplace romances, especially like competition between coworkers. So this will be interesting. And I feel like a bunch of like rivals to lovers books tend to have the plot twist that the guy actually doesn't hate her. He like really respects her but is being mean to her on purpose. So it'll be interesting if he's actually just pissy or if he's like, I read your articles and I love them, I just didn't want to say it. Howdy. Same day, different couch. Also, it's 1 a.m. and I'm procrastinating going to bed because I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna try and make this more of a weekly vlog because I don't know after I finish A Great Big Beautiful Life, which by the way, as I was putting that on my Goodreads currently reading, it occurred to me that, oh my god, did Trump title this book? Which I'm sure I'm not the first one to make that joke, but I was like, no wonder. It's like, do I want to read that? Do you want to see Gordo? Hi, handsome. Good boy. Oh, you're so sweet. You want me to scratch your chin? I'm reminded, because I have left them on my couch, that I went to the bookstore with Bonnie while I was in Wisconsin and I bought a couple things and I don't think I've talked about them. I got 2 hardbacks at her local bookstore where I just want to get something I know I'm gonna love. That is my #1 rule of buying books full price is it cannot be a guess. There was a book I really wanted to buy that was a like plus size monster romance, but I was like, girl, that's a library book. But on the other hand, the first thing I saw was Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which is like a sapphic vampire, new release by V.E. Schwab, and this is a signed first edition, so I was like, okay. And I have yet to hear a bad thing about this one. Someone I know at work read this recently and really loved it. Everyone online is loving this. Bonnie loved it. No, Ellen loved it. Shout out my girl Ellen. This feels like one of those books that I'm convinced I'm probably going to love, but because it's so big and because I have that expectation of loving it, I'm probably gonna put it off for 5 years. So I have this for whenever that time rolls around. I'll be patient with it. And then I wanted to get one more thing because I had so much suitcase room and the romantasy shelves were packed and I was like, one of y'all needs to come home with me. Bonnie helped me come to that decision, so I decided to pick up The Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Do not ask me what this is about. And I know I just said my rule in bookstores, especially when I buy things full price, is to know I'm gonna love it. This is kind of against that because I could not tell you, other than it's fantasy, what this is about. And honestly, I asked if there was smooching and Bonnie said a little bit, so I don't even think it's that much of a romantasy. I don't know. I'm going in with blind faith, false god style. Blind faith. That's my short little book haul. Those two are now added to my colossal TBR shelves. And now I really need to go to bed.
Tomorrow.
Hello, Rizzlers. I just got out of my BAFF bath. Can I put you here where you see my gooch? Okay. Why is it so fucking dark? I swung my lamp toward me, but now I just look like I'm on Dateline. In my bath, I got to page 73, and the vibe that Emily Henry is setting up is that this main character is a optimist to a fault. She always sees the best in people, she always sees the positive side, she's very grateful, so it's very much Grumpy Sunshine, like rivals, which is not my favorite plot. I'm like not really tabbing that many quotes in it so far. It's continuing to remind me of Evelyn Hugo because it started the chapters where she's talking and interviewing with this woman. Now the chapters themselves are called the story, so you're jumping back and forth between the main character writing it and interviewing her and exploring this small coastal town interspersed with this dynasty of a family whose downfall is everyone's curiosity. And the Grumpy Sunshine, I guess I'm finding that I don't love that trope in contemporaries. I just feel like he's annoyed with her, and so it's like triggering me emotionally. I'm like, don't be annoying. I hate feeling annoying. But yeah, it took me a while to get into this. I kept picking it up and putting it down and picking it up this weekend, but when I was locking in the bath, I was able to really get through a lot in one chunk. I think I'm finally past the hump of getting to know the characters, and so far it's fine. At this point, I think it's going to be very difficult to outdo Happy Place. Maybe I'm not going to be purchasing her books full price. Good morning, mother truckers.
Watch your profanity.
So I'm gonna speed apply my makeup because I have to leave for work 5 minutes ago. Last night I diva'd more than I thought I did. After I turned off the camera, I read for like 2 hours. This book sucked me in. I was not expecting that. Yes, phone, I'm awake. I was also going through my comments last night and someone told me that it's very The Last Great American Dynasty coded, which I did not even put together until she said it, and I'm like, oh my god, that is absolutely correct. Half the chapters are from her interviewing this woman and she's going into her family's backstory, but the other half is her getting to know this guy, and both of them are realizing that this woman is not being 100% truthful, and she's been in hiding for 20 or 30 years after her family had this huge falling out. Why now would she decide to step up and actually have a biography written about her? So there's this underlying mystery element that they're both just like, why are we here? And then of course there's the competitive aspect of they're both going for this job and the guy is more qualified than her, but there's this pressure of like, someone better than me is here and I have to work twice as hard. So she is confident about it. It's not like she's like, oh, well, he's gonna get the job, I gotta go home. But it's just nice to have like a confident main character, like almost confident to a fault. She is so, even the guy said, you are the least cynical person I have ever met. I don't think I've ever met anyone like you. Not entirely in a complimentary way, like I'm sure some people would find her a little bit unrealistic. And to be fair, some of their banter I feel like is not entirely realistic. She's just so unerringly positive. Also, I was really surprised at how quickly the romance in this developed. It's still a bit reserved, like the guy will catch himself and be like, we can't do this. They kissed really early on and I was like, huh? I kind of would read this if it wasn't a romance. And if we're being honest, I don't think that it needs to be a rom-com. I don't love that this main female character is trying to be like hee hee ha ha every time she talks to him, because the banter is just not coming off as authentic. Not enough that I'm hating it. Like, it's not cringe, which is would put me over the edge of not liking it. I honestly just wish that it was about this woman and her family, and I kind of don't need the chapters in between where they're meeting up at all the cafes in town and joking about how, you know, oh, I'm a better writer than you. Oh, my family doesn't like that I'm a writer. I'm like a little less than halfway. Tabs are not taking up a whole lot of space. I'm starting to notice some themes in Emily's books that, I don't know why I'm on a first name basis with Emily, my girl. Specifically, like, her tall main characters is something that I selfishly am devouring every time she does it. Especially when she throws in little details, like they'll both be sitting in a booth and their knees are knocking together. I do wish there was a family tree included, which even the main character mentioned, like, I'm gonna need a family tree at the beginning of my biography. So, girl, give me. I'm also stupid. I need it.
Show me to me, please.
Because it's starting to reveal secrets about her family, but then it won't go back and describe who's who. So I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be a big reveal about her aunt, but I don't remember who that is. It's starting to get really addicting. I think I could honestly finish the second half of this book in one sitting. And my tummy has been hurting for the past few days, so hopefully I can make it through the day. Why do I have the hiccups? Ugh. Every time I have the hiccups, Bonnie is like, hold your breath, bitch. That was the ghost of Bonnie demanding that I did that. But anywho, I just need to finish my mascara and then we are good to rock and roll. And by the way, my review of the Trader Joe's cinnamon roll lip mask, which I got as an impulse purchase because I love little lip balms like the one from Lush. It's fine. Doesn't really stay on. Let's go. Do I look good? Fit check. My skirt is from Gucci. My top is from Louis Vuitton. My ass is from Balenciaga. Bye. Usually in moments like this, I wouldn't record it because I don't even feel like talking, but I just got home from work and I'm sitting in the parking lot still in my car. I just don't want to move. I've been on my phone for like 20 minutes. I think it's because I just did errands and I have to bring everything upstairs, and that just feels like such a Herculean task. And a lot of the reason why I haven't been recording a lot is because I've been like, I feel like poopy, and then I just don't record because I don't want poopy to be on internet. My therapist has been telling me that I get stuck in overthinking, which is true. But like right now I'm sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, it is such a gorgeous day outside and all I want to do is go take a short little walk, bring my laptop, find a place to do some like video editing, work outside for a bit. I'm running out of daylight. I have like an hour left to do that and I just don't, like, I'm thinking too much. I'm like, but I don't want to go inside, and oh, but that's a lot of effort. It's like the thing I want to do is right there, but I keep not doing it. Okay, I think I can do it. If you don't see a clip of it, then I gave up. That was well worth it. I stayed outside for like an hour and a half. It is soup season, so I have some taco soup with some tortilla on top with homemade chicken broth. Yum yum. Don't look at my bacon grease in the background. Stop it. But I'm gonna make a cup of tea because my hands got super cold. I need to drink tea a lot more than I do right now, so I'm just gonna grab a random one. I'm not a huge green tea fan, but that means I just need to use up all of it. And then I think I might take a bath and read my book in the bath. That's how easily you can turn your night around. Just tell yourself, don't overthink it, go do it! And it was fun! Why am I red? Well, good morning. Don't ask me why I'm doing this, but it is Halloween. Actually, it's the day after Halloween. It's November 1st at 4 a.m. right now. Don't ask me why I'm awake. The answer is I took a nap and I regret it. But I just decided randomly, fuck it, I'm gonna finish paying off my student loans. Which is not something a lot of people could just, I was gonna say wake up and say, I haven't gone to bed yet. Not something a lot of people can do. So the reason I wanted to do it on camera is I would not be in this position if it weren't for my patrons. When I launched my Patreon, I expected to get like 6 people who cared. And I have over 200. Excuse me? I cannot tell you how different my life is even versus 2 years ago. The amount of things I'm able to do and like help my family with, and the things I'm able to afford, and the mental clarity I have because of the people who are willing to support me in that way. Like the fact that I am paying off my student loans in like a year is just absurd to me. So this is a major shout out and love letter to all the patrons, or even people who just watch me on YouTube, because I also get AdSense payment. When I graduated college, like $24,000 of student debt, and I slowly paid it off after COVID. And just this past month, I got it down to only $400. My current balance is only, sorry, reflection, $396.47. I'm just gonna pay that right now because I just got paid today from my day job. So get ready with me while I pay off all of my student loans. And if a future president decides to forgive them, fuck. And all that's left to do is submit the payment. I love that I'm like, I'm gonna record me doing this and you like can't even fucking see it. I'm doing it, you can't even see. My student loans are paid off. Woo! Guys, we're rich! I'm not in debt anymore! Woohoo! Okay, let me screenshot this and send it to my mom. Anyway, that's all. We will now return to reading in the next couple clips. Hi, goofy goobers. Might be hard to tell, maybe not because I look a mess, but I have been laser focused all day on getting my apartment in shape. I've been reticent to talk about mental health here because I feel like I just go on and on and on about the same things over and over, and especially for the, I don't know, one new person a year who finds this channel, it feels so weird to be like, oh my god, Emily Henry reading vlog. Today I had a suicidal ideation, which I don't have, I'm being dramatic, but I have my like recent obsession is Greek yogurt banana pudding, so I'm gonna have a little bit of my nightly sweet treat, and I just want to chat a tiny bit about how things are going mentally, but October just in general was not a great month for me. In the middle of the month, I actually was with my mom when they had to put one of their foster kittens down. Totally unexpected. She just fell super sick, and I'd never been to a vet appointment. I've never seen an animal get put to sleep. Every pet that I've had has died of natural causes, or we never had to have a vet out to pull that trigger. It was literally the night before my mom's birthday. She couldn't afford to take the cat to the vet again. They'd already been, and she wasn't getting better, and I was like, I will pay for us to go to an emergency vet, because she was like, this cat did not like me, and she was comatose and not responding. We took her to the vet. I don't want to get into details, but it was not pretty. The vet quoted us like $10,000, half of that being just to figure out what's wrong with her. So my mom was like, we absolutely cannot do that. Her prognosis was just so unknown. Like, she also could have been too far gone, and we would have paid all that and still not been able to save her. So we made the decision to put her to sleep, and that has been really hard. Like, I know that's understandable. She was a cat that they rescued from the barn when she was like weeks old, living in my mom's horse's stall. It's a tough loss. That's been weighing on me, but the silver lining is I'm just super proud of my mom, because for the past 2 years or so, she has been capturing all these barn kittens at the stables where we kept our horses. She just comes across all these like pitiful animals, and her heart is intent on saving everyone. For 2 years, she's had a rotating cast of kittens in her house that she's been bottle feeding and hand raising and flea combing and keeping separated from her current cats. She's doing it entirely on her own dollar, and I didn't realize until this situation with that cat how deeply it was impacting her. And they currently have 6 kittens. 5 of them are new that they just found like in a ditch, and they're the sweetest little purr balls. If I could take all of them, I would. It's 4 little girls and a little boy, and they're the absolute sweetest. But we're just kind of waiting until they're old enough to get their shots, get spayed, and then be able to adopt them out. But in the meantime, my mom is literally paying out of pocket for everything. I already feel guilty asking, because honestly, I'm sending my Patreon money to her now, a slice of it, because everyone is so generous in supporting me there. Like, it is more money than I need, so I'm helping support them that way. I am gonna also link an Amazon wish list down below, just because I feel so horrible at the financial situation it says put them in that I didn't realize. Just because there are some basics like food that I would love for them to have a hand at, because I don't even know if there's resources for foster parents. This is something she didn't sign up for officially. Like, she has just become the cat lady. She had to like delete the Nextdoor app and Facebook and stuff because there were so many kittens that people would post about that she would be able to get to. But if you're watching, you're helping, because I'll also get a paycheck from this video. But if you would like to help support my mom and in the memory of sister Sissy, who we had to put down, I'll link that wish list down below, and it will go straight to their house, and I'll tell her to expect a couple gifts from me and my followers. It's 10:05. That means I have to take my night medication. Is this emotionally manipulative of me? I feel like I'm like, you have to give to my parents. I'm not gonna feel guilty for using a platform that I built when I was 15. All this being said, I don't have a reading update. I did not touch my book today. I would have read my audiobook while I cleaned, but I refused to get my audiobook from Audible, and I don't know where else to get it. I need to Google that, because I'm out of credits on every app that I have. I'm slowly making my way out of this stinky place where I've been. Not 100% yet. You know what I think will help? A shower and getting my ass in bed. Cheers. Bonnie and I just finished, oops, it's dark, there we go. Say hi to Bonnie. Bonnie and I have been working on this book since my teenage years. I had the bright idea of, I was like, this sounds so interesting. Like, I want to read a book about what sex was like throughout historical eras. And this breaks it down by region. So it'll go through like ancient Egypt, ancient China, ancient India, and slowly makes its way through time. Interesting concept, but one, this was published in 1980 and this is a 1992 revised version. So a little bit dated here. Some of the knowledge was still foundationally interesting, but then she would not shut up. It was so overwritten.
And that's why we've been reading it since February 18th.
February? I powered through the epilogue because I was like, we need it to be done. This doesn't really talk about sex so much as politics, but it was so like, and here was the political attitude at the time that made women not sling puss. And I'm like, I wanted to know about, was she going backwards on it underwater?
What was she doing? What was she flying?
So, I mean, sure. I don't even know what I expected out of it, but it was not this.
The most interesting parts were definitely when they were telling us about like the sex practices of different cultures and how freaky they got and their little manuals.
Which you think would have been the whole book, but it was like bits and pieces.
So it'd be like every other chapter or so, it'd be like, oh, a minute slag, and then boring.
Yeah, so a lot of times this was like, we'd read half a chapter, then I would literally fall asleep. So this is over. We just had a quick discussion about what's next on the agenda, and we've decided we're gonna go for a book that we can finish before the end of the year. I picked up this book from Thrift Books, I think. I found this gorgeous cover. It's just called What's Wrong with Fat. I've never heard of it, never heard of this author, but it's just all about science and statistics about the way fat people are perceived and whether or not it's actually a detrimental thing. I have to get my soup that I'm gonna have for dinner now, so just wanted to do a quick update. Anything else, Bonnie?
That's all, folks.
Thank you. Hi, my dears. So, as you saw last night, I had some Patreon reading sprints, and I read about 100 pages of the book, finally. It's been like a week or two since I've gotten into it. I went from page 177 to 244. I'm liking it. Okay, it's really addicting. I'm liking the back and forth format of them in their current life refusing to talk about the project, them being the main character and the other reporter. But there's starting to be a budding romance between these two people, but since they're competing for a job, they're like, we can't do this. And I'm finding that the banter is just getting a little bit too on the nose. Like, it feels a bit fictional now, which is so funny because when I read Funny Story, I was like, these characters feel too real and like too normal for it to be interesting. And I feel like this is a little bit of the opposite, where it's a little bit too shiny, shimmering. It's a little bit cheeseball, it's a little bit cornball. But there was a really sweet chapter where they went home to her childhood home, and I love the undertone of this story about it still being about her grieving her dad who passed away. So she takes him back to her childhood home just because they're in the area, and he notices how she behaves around her mom who doesn't take her job seriously, and she kind of recedes into herself a little bit in the grief. And the one trait that I'm not liking about this dude, what's his name? It's a stupid name. Hayden. Ugh! Is Hayden not the name of the weird guy who draws dragons in the back of your class? He is now on this high horse because this main character's whole purpose is she is so optimistic about life, but this dude is obviously the opposite, and he sees her being sad and then blocking that out. And even if he's correct, he's going up to her and being like, well, you need to talk about it because not everything is fairies and magic and rainbows. Like, you need to release that. You're just penting it up. And he's like telling her how to handle her emotions and being like, you should open up. I just don't like that he's inserting himself into her life even though he's established a boundary that they can't be anything because of this job, even though she's willing to talk about it. And he's the one who's like, you're behaving the wrong way. Bitch, you almost fingered her on a beach and blue-balled her, and now you want to tell her how to handle her emotions? So I am liking this book, but there's a couple things that are annoying me. And because it took me a couple weeks to get back into this, I've already kind of forgotten the tea and the drama, which I was afraid of. I'm kind of taking it chapter by chapter as there's reveals that are happening, but if this tries to do a big plot twist about like someone's parents aren't who they say they are, I'm like, I didn't remember who they were in the first place. Wanted to do a quick update because I forgot to last night after I logged out. That reading sprint was so fun. I was laughing. I literally peed laughing in that live stream. We had to cut it off. It was so fun. Anyway, that's the update. I'll talk to you later. Now, y'all, Gordo is about to jump up here and make himself known, but we need to discuss something while I use my Equate Walmart generic brand of the Neutrogena makeup wipes, makeup remover, soft cleansing towelettes. Read about 70 pages of this tonight on Patreon for reading sprints. I have to do the I was wrong song because I complained heartily about how he's like, you have to do this and say this. Babe, there was a reason. He's got aura and backstory. Emily Henry is like God. She is working in ways that I cannot even fathom. I should have trusted her, but man, I regret saying anything because I was like, oh, it makes sense now. But the romance in this is picking up so much. And there's a lot of suspenseful elements to it. There's other people in the town now that she's like, wait, this guy kind of looks familiar now that I think about it. And then they'll be comparing stories about the interviews that they're doing. And he's like, oh, yours is kind of different from mine, but we can't really talk about it. So there's this whole mysterious side to the story as well. And I can't really guess where things are gonna go. But someone commented in my Patreon live stream tonight, I think it was Rose, that this book made her sob. I am currently on my period. I am a crier at books, even if I wasn't. I'm not confident that this will keep me dry-eyed if that's the case. Yeah, I'm liking it more than I was 70 pages ago. A lot more development between the characters is happening, and the romance feels a lot more authentic, which I hate to say because it still is a little bit insta-lovey, but there's less corniness and banter between them now that they're so comfortable with each other. It just feels so much more natural, so just had to overcome that hump. I am now equally enjoying the flashback chapters with the current chapters, whereas before I was kind of preferring the flashback chapters. I'm gonna try and finish this all tonight and tomorrow. And by the way, Emily is so pretty. Every time I like am flipping through and I like catch a glimpse of her while I'm reading, I'm like, hey girl, she's so cute. I'm feeling less bad about paying full price for this. Not just because she's pretty, but the book is also really making a turn. I want to go to bed so the princess can have a good sleep. Good night, Rosie. She's like, I was having a good night before you talked to me in 19 languages at 30,000 decibels. Oh my god, my dead pixel is over her. Hey girls. I'm really debating getting a new camera, and that pixel is a big part of the criteria why, but stuff is expensive. So yeah, I've been crying and we're actually gonna ignore that if you don't mind. I did not expect to finish this son of a bitch tonight. I was like, let me read a chapter before bed. It's 1 a.m. I've been reading for 2 hours straight and I finished it. What the fuck? As a love story, this was providing. This is kind of different from other of her books. The characters are pretty adamant that they know that they're in love with each other like midway through the book, so it is like, I want to say sappy, like sappy, sweet, urgent romance where they are sure of themselves and what they feel for each other. I do still think it's like a little bit insta-lovey because it happens I don't know, kind of quickly. But the way that they are just so intensely bonded with each other, and the way that he talks to her about that is so lovely. And there was a really great building of the tension with the storytelling aspect of this and the interviews that they're doing with this woman and like the competitiveness of it with each other. The explanation for why they're both there ends up being, I don't want to spoil it, but I didn't like it. There's this whole like secret backstory to this woman that they're like uncovering, and she's not being totally truthful. And I just thought it was slimy and unresolved, and I didn't like that part of it at all. And it felt like it glossed over that really quickly. The last 30 pages of this book, or even 20 pages of this book, just like glides by, and so little is explained and so much of it is glossed over. I'm like, excuse me? It's like she just wanted to finish the romance aspect of the book without finishing the author work part of the book. I do think it has a good message about staying close to the family you have while they're alive and documenting their lives and getting to know them while you still have them. And I was crying because that was getting to me. And yes, it does feel like the woman that they're interviewing and her backstory, she starts to feel like a real person. But I don't think that her resolution was fair for her. I don't think her issues that she was experiencing are solved. So I'm just like, it's so unsatisfying. For romance, it was really well done. And I was gonna say, this is such an interesting book of Emily's because she's adding this whole suspenseful element of this other character who you have to unpack her history. And I was gonna be like, oh my god, this feels like a book with an actual plot with a little bit of romance sprinkled in on the side. But I, in the end, did not appreciate how she wrapped up that storyline about this famous woman. I might have to let this simmer for a star rating, because part of me is like 4, 3.5. Man, that's just, I'm just kind of frustrated. So maybe 3.5 is more fair. That means this vlog is done. Thumbnail. This vlog is long enough, so I'll leave you here. Thank you all so much for watching. I know I basically only read one book, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing glimpses of my life in other places. I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.